Royal's World of Whiskey, and we're still in Canada. We're still on the West Coast. We did Macaloni's down to Victoria. We're going up the island about 3 hours, 3.5 hours north of Victoria. We're halfway between Courtenay and Campbell River. Shelter Point Distillery. Interesting thing about it is that it's a picturesque spot that it'd be nearly impossible to buy a chunk like that today. But Patrick Evans purchased it, I think it was around 2008, I think is when they sold it. He and his family had been farming in the Comox Valley since the 60s. He got this idea that he was going to start a distillery, and the project actually started, it was involving a partnership with Jay Oddleifson, who I worked with up at Mount Washington, and he knew wine, and he was from South Africa, so he'd worked in that business. He had been in the beverage business prior, and then of course Andrew Currie was the founder of Arran Distillery. You all know about Arran Distillery on the Isle of Arran. And of course Patrick Evans, who purchased the property. Now, unfortunately, that partnership kind of failed, and so Patrick Evans basically took control of it, and it's all about spending money, and he got these Forsyth stills brought over. They'd get shipped over in pieces, and a friend of his, this James Marinus, became a key guy to building, and also eventually became the whiskey maker. But he didn't just jump into whiskey making. He had the help of a retired Mike Nicholson, who we have already talked about because he helped Macaloni with Dr. Jim Swan. And so he first got involved with Shelter Point. They talked about a retirement. Couldn't have a better guy to help you get those stills going. And so what we've got here is we've got Montford. Now Montford is the story behind Montford, and without looking at my cell phone, this was named after Barrett Montford, of course the fellow that originally had the farm that donated it to UBC, which became the Oyster River Experimental Farm. And of course the other one here is a Ripple Rock. I'm just doing the two today. That's enough. Ripple Rock. I remember as a kid, I watched that explosion. It was basically shown on TV across the country, maybe around the world. Patrick Evans, his farm, and I think Patrick and also James Marinus, who now is the master distiller. They use their barley and local barley. And they didn't, I think originally they had to bring it in from Calgary, and it was a Pilsner barley they were using, but they're using the local barley, and what I really taste in their whiskeys is the malt. That's what I noticed about it, and I've really gotten fond of them. So I've done a review on this guy here. This did win awards in Frisco. I really like that. That's their single malt. And I've done a review on the 10. Really like the 10. It's an aged version of these, but they're different. They have different character, yet you really can taste the barley, the cereal notes, the malt. And I have not done the 12-year-old, so there's a 12-year-old release here. It wasn't easy to get, so I will be doing that in the future. But I did want to get these ones done. I'll do the smoke point later. I didn't want to do a peated whiskey with these guys here, the same as Macaloni's. I have one there to do that was peated, so maybe I'll put the two together. I don't know, but I am going to get into this review because I have babbled enough. So let's pour the Montford, named again after Barrett Montford, and he was the fellow that donated the land to the UBC people. This is the Montford, 46%. Let's give it a little pour, and then we can we'll do the same to the Ripple Rock. Looks pretty good. And 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, no coloring added. Okay, so there we are. And the Ripple Rock So, interesting thing about the distillery also is I think they started off with Jim Beam casks. Some of this whiskey has been recast into Jack Daniel cask and also into virgin oak and alligator charred virgin oak casks. So, a lot of cask management, just like Macaloni. Okay, we're going to show you these two here. And I sort of picked them up as they were sitting on the table. So the one on your right is the Ripple Rock, and of course the one on your left is the Montford. And I don't know if you notice it, but I noticed that the Ripple Rock, which is on your right, is just a little bit darker than the Montford. Anyways, let's give the Montford the nose. Local barley, remember. And it has that sweetness about it, just as we get with this guy here and this guy here. A very sweet nose. You can really smell the malt. You know, you do get some of the vanilla notes here. And if you really work it, you're going to get some peaches. Peaches and pears, maybe a wee bit of apricot, but very distinct nose to Shelter Point in my experience with them so far. Different than the distillery to the South Macalonies. I'm getting now a bit of the flowers, the floral, cinnamon. Very nice nose to this. Let's go for the palate. Solange. There's my nostrils. So there were some sharper notes than I get out of these guys here. It had a bit of a hit. I mean, these are all the same alcohol content. But it just went right up my nose, you know, just like a decongester. But it has a lot of pepper, nutmeg, cinnamon. It's spicy and just sweet enough to give it that, you know, to balance everything out. No bitter notes yet. Not getting anything bitter. The malt is coming through. Coating on the mouth. It's kind of lingering there, but it's slowly disappearing. So we're now going to go for the development. Solange. Development and finish. Now the wood. Now we're tasting the cask. So, again, lots of spice, a little bit of the tannin going on now, and still got this, you know, with those spices there. I'm getting a little bit of marzipan, even some custard. So that's kind of balancing out with the tannins. Because sometimes the tannins can be overpowering and be bitter and not fun. I am going to say that the wood influence is here, the cask influence is here. That recasking, you know, it's obviously, it plays a role, and local barley plays a role. As far as the finish, I'm going to say short to medium. Short, the short side of medium, okay? And we're going to move on, clean our palates, and we're going to go after the Ripple Rock. So, okay, let's give it the nose. Little different nose, similar but different. I'm getting tart, Definitely getting the barley. Tart though. Getting some sour notes. Citrus notes. Very citrusy. Smelling, we're smelling a little bit of the barley that's being grown there. Maybe some of the grass along the shoreline. And we're definitely getting some citrus stuff mixed in there. The palate. Solange. Boy, right off the bat, different. There is spice, but there's also licorice. Malt. Cereal. A little bit of granola. I'm going to say a bit of vanilla in the background. Maybe even some darker stuff. Apricots and maybe, maybe some plums, prunes. Boy, there's a cilantro note there. Interesting, coating my mouth. A little drier than this. This has got some strong presentation, so we're going to go into the development and the finish here, okay? Solange. Boy, really getting the malt. Local malt, local barley. And really getting to like this distillery. Any sherry in here? I don't think there is, but it had some darker fruits. That's what I tasted. So I did get to the apricots, and then I did mention the prunes, but I just felt like there was something there, and casks can do some interesting things. But it did have the vanilla notes. It did have some custard stuff going on. It had the licorice going on, and I don't know if that's from the alligator char. It's a really nice drink, super nice drink. I'm going to be able to add water to these, I think, and I will add water to them, and let's just see what goes on. So we're going to do it in reverse, because we're going to add water to this guy, and then I only have to clean my palate once. So let's do it. We'll get the water out, and we'll stay with the Ripple Rock here. And we're going to add the water to it. I'm gonna leave it at that. I got 4 definite drops there. So we'll see what 4 drops does to it there, okay? Usually get it opening a little bit at least. 46%, there was body. You saw the legs. Ripple Rock with water. Give it a little nose. Oh boy, the tartness, whoa. Yeah, exploding with tartness, Ripple Rock. So the citrus notes really come through here. Lemon orange. And there's a wee bit of chocolate going on here. On the Ripple Rock, wee bit of chocolate going on. It's the darker chocolate, vanilla, some custard, and creme brulee. You can smell it. Wow. Okay, the palate with water. Lots of spice still, but still got the licorice. Sweeter licorice. And very something minty going on with the licorice. Mint, peppermint. bouncing back and forth between the peppermint and the licorice. I haven't had that one happen before. Cinnamon. Here comes the chocolate. Boy, it's a darker chocolate, but it's creamier. And I get the licorice coating on my tongue here. It's kind of interesting. Finish is definitely, I can see it. This has a lot of development over a period of time, and that's when you're talking about complexity. I'm not going to say it's super complex, but the longer a finish is, the more you can discover with it. And when you have a short finish, a lot of times you describe it as not complex because it's such a short finish, you know. But this has a fairly long finish, the Ripple Rock, and I'm going to say a medium finish, you know. It's a nice drink. I like it. So with water, yes, it can handle water. I did 4 drops. Now we clean our palate. And then we are going to add water to the Montford. Montford has got more tannins, but they could be balanced with the sweet and sour. You give it the old shake, let it open up. Okay, the nose with water, Montford. So it doesn't nail you with that tartness like the Ripple Rock. There's so much citrus there. And this has getting more of a cologne here. So this guy here was tart right off the bat with water. This one here is it's more the sweetness. Oh yeah, I'm getting the vanilla. It's coming up. The vanilla is coming on pretty heavy here. You know, I mentioned the caramel notes. The tannins aren't as strong now. Getting a little bit of more of the milk chocolate, oranges, and I am smelling the cinnamon, and you know, like baking spices. But let's go for the palate. Solange. There is the caramel, as I have vanilla, and we talked about the creme de brulee. I'm still waiting for the tannins. That's still the apples, and you know, we did have some orange. I'm going to say the chocolate's still there. Maybe a wee bit of coffee, more of the latte. I'm going to say probably with that fruit stuff, maybe some apricot, pears and apricots, and it's drifted off. So, anyways, a delightful drink. So, a score. These guys are close, and I think it's going to be a personal preference. Overall, let's say they're going to be in the 83, 84 range. We'll post them there. I'm not sure. I kind of like this stuff here. It kind of, for me, it eked out this guy here. So, but that's my palate. They're both good whiskeys, so I'm going to leave it at that. So this is definitely a distillery worth exploring. Their whiskeys are worth exploring. They are kicking butt. They are winning awards. There's a uniqueness to the presentation. I think I could identify this whiskey on a blind nosing or a blind taste. They have that unique taste of malt, and I like it. So we're 83, 84-ish. This kind of eked out a little bit for me, but that's my palate. So I am going to ask you to drink wisely, drink intelligently, and do not drink and drive. And until the next time, so long.